What's up? What's up? How we doing? How we doing? I love the commands. Love the commands. Um, yeah, no more Krabs coaster talk today. He's still out. I think he's in the links today. So we got my man the Gen back. Can bring him right up if he's ready.
Ready to roll.
Ready to roll.
How's
Ready.
the quality? Is it okay?
It is. It's fantastic.
All
Super
right.
crisp.
Beautiful.
Super crisp. How we doing?
Good, man. Pretty good. Pretty good night overall. How was yours?
It was pretty good, actually, because I was, doing this, and then I went on the surgical stream, and I had to do like the whole crabs report, a bunch of sides. I bet a lot of sides in total. Figured I had to put my money on a lot of them. I also unhealthily nuked Dodgers run line for the first time in God knows how long.
Dude, I saw that. I saw you posted that, which, it's uncomfortable, again, as contrarian bettors, betting something that's so square, but you got it. When it's the right spot, it's the right spot. And I loved it. I thought it was the right line. I like the total. We talked about that. You said that the Dodgers probably go over it by themselves, and they did.
Yeah, I mean that's it's not that I just hated taking a square play. I mean, just in general, like as long as I have a reason for something other than hey, they're just better than this team, I think, or this player is just better than this pitcher, or whatever. I mean, I'll take it. I don't care.
I completely agree.
But yeah, I mean, we got a pretty decent slate of baseball. We got a couple early games about to go off, including our Rays.
Yeah,
that is a pretty confusing game for me, to be honest with you. I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
Same boat. I'm with you. I always say I like to get a read on, what fans of a team think, and do the opposite. And one of my best friends is also a Rays fan, but he's actually he's like the most pessimistic fan. Very real, a realistic fan, which I appreciate. So I don't necessarily fade what he says, and he actually thinks we win today. Which I can't say I fully agree with. I like Springs. I think you like Springs.
I love Springs. And
yeah.
I mean, the Brewers are not good in general against left-handed pitching. So I mean, I get it. I'm definitely seeing a lot of Rays today, though, which scares me.
You're seeing more Rays. Okay, yeah. I didn't see any Rays talk yesterday. And again, I think I told you, but I woke up to a few people saying they're a live dog, meaning that the public weren't, they weren't quick to take them at a plus price. I looked at the splits again on this game, kind of similar to yesterday. It's, it's lower tickets. They're only getting 35% of the tickets, but they are getting more money. They're getting 45% of the money. So, again, I just, it's kind of a similar situation. You got Woodruff pitching against Springs. I mean, people know Springs is good. He's got the 2.5 ERA. I just don't know that the Brewers should be minus 150 against a respectable team. And when I say that, you and I know as fans, the Rays have their flaws.
Yeah,
but they're over 500. They're not a trash can. So I have a feeling that the Brewers might string together some wins, and I don't think I'm ready to fade them yet.
I agree. I was saying this earlier too. Like, it's not that I necessarily disagree with the read on the Rays. I just think I think it's plus 130, 135. I think I need a little better of a price against Woodruff, especially the way they looked against them the first time. Yes, there was a couple different guys in the lineup, but they looked embarrassing that first
game.
Woodruff. So I think I need I need something a little better than plus 130, plus 135 to take the Rays.
Do you think this is the right price?
I think it's a little accurate of a price. I think it's maybe buying into how good Springs has been lately a slight bit too much, and how bad the Brewers are against left-handed pitching. It's just, I don't know. There's no clear value side for me in this game. I definitely lean under, which is why I think the Rays have a shot at this game.
I agree, and I think I really like road dogs on the run line, and I think if I had to make a play, that's probably what I do, because I also love it more when you lean towards a low scoring game, which I also agree with. Yep. So I could see this being a 3-2 game probably either way.
Yeah, I'm with you in that. Definitely with you in that. That's a big thing that just happened.
What happened?
Paul Blackburn just got placed on the IL.
Oh, that sucks, because I just bet on him.
Yeah, that's a significant issue. I was about to take the over in that game too.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay. And who were you looking to fade Blackburn? Because I saw that he's really bad at home.
Yeah. It was partially a fate of him. Yes, I expected him to give up runs, but the guy Tuki Toussaint has been in the league for a while now. He allows a lot of walks, and he walked this A's lineup 5 times less than a week ago. So I thought if anybody needs a jump start and can get a jump start for some offense, it would have been the A's offense against Toussaint. So
right,
that's I don't know. It's an interesting blow. I don't know who they're going to go with now.
Yeah, so I guess in this situation, the bet's probably going to get voided. I'm not. I guess I'm certainly not going to be quick to jump back in this game. I got no desire to be involved in an Angels Ace series. I think I just like the narrative that people know Black is an okay pitcher, but he's bad at home. And the A's lost 4 in a row, and they've only scored 1 run in 2 games at home against the Angels. And I like that they were, I don't care, they're short dogs at a fine price, and I like that they had a line move in their favor, 120 to 130. But I'll probably stay off this totally. What about? I mean, are you going to wait and see what happens? You might even still make a play.
I mean, it's like you're saying. I have absolutely no desire to hurry up and get a bet in for Angels A's. That's for damn sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens. If something jumps out at me, I'll do that. I was kind of leaning towards the A's too, with the way that line was moving, with the whole narrative that he's got an 8+ ERA at home. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Everybody's about a play in this Reds Mets game starting right now. Like I don't have a play. I don't really like anything. I think it's pretty unbettable from a side perspective. But what do you like? Anything?
Yeah, I think I like the over, and I don't know if I'm falling into a square play, but I don't know anything about this TJ Zook fella. It's not a pitching debut. He's got a player profile picture, so I'm not going to get nasty with the Reds here, but. Both games in this series went under. I know a pretty sharp guy he went over in game 1. I think it was a weather system play and everything, and the line was moving up, and that didn't hit. It was 5-1. So I always like to go back to it. If I like a total and it doesn't hit in game 1, I like to go back to it in game 2. I didn't play either of them, but I just kind of put myself in that position of what I would have done. And the fact that it didn't hit again, and now in this third game, the total at 9 with Walker pitching, who's a good pitcher, I just thought that was a little higher than it should have been. But totally correct me if I'm wrong in that assessment.
No, I think you're right. Was there any line movement on the total?
No, but it's being juiced. The under. Oh, this is interesting. I actually saw. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was. It's -120 towards the under at DraftKings. It does look like the under is taking a little money. It's not super lopsided, just 53% of the money or whatever. But I would think more people would be inclined to. Don't they like betting day game totals under anyway?
Yeah, to a degree. I think I was asking if there's any movement because Starling Marte is not playing for the Mets today, which I feel like that's a significant thing. And if the total was still moving up in the right spot, then that would be pretty telling, I would say. But if it's moving down like it should, I think it's probably where it should be.
When did that lineup come out?
Not too long ago. I mean, game's starting right now. So.
Oh, okay. We won't even be able to tell if there's any reaction to it.
So I mean, we'll see.
Yep.
I didn't know when that news dropped, but I just heard about it. But yeah, it's a game starting up now. Not really too interested in myself.
No, not one bit. Also, I pointed this out. I thought it was kind of interesting. I heard some talk today about the Mets' remaining schedule. Have you heard about this?
I haven't.
It's one of the easiest in baseball, if not the easiest in baseball. I think they play from September 2nd to the end of the year. They only play like 5 teams with a winning record, or 5 games against a team with a winning record. And it's kind of that stretch of opponents where the Braves got hot.
Yeah.
That's what the Mets are about to face. So somebody was talking about maybe throwing a pizza money on the Mets to have the most wins. I think it was right now it's like 7-1. Thought that was kind of interesting. If if you're like a Mets future ticket holder, and whether it's division or World Series, it's gotta excite you a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something to point out. I mean, looking at the schedules too. I mean, that's why I think the Padres are going to go on a little run here because. Who do they play? They play the Nationals a couple series. I think they have the Marlins coming up too. All really the bottom feeder teams in the NL. So I think it's a pretty solid move for them. That's why I think they're going to get hot. Maybe not this weekend, but starting up pretty soon here.
I agree with you. I got my eye on the Padres, and I started yesterday was the first time to jump on them because remember we talked about when people start saying "fuck this team."
Yep.
That was the fuck Padre game where I like to strike on that. I mean, it's you buy low, and the Padres they were about as high as they could have been with after the trade deadline and everything, but they crashed. They lost one against the Rockies, whatever, but then kind of got embarrassed against the Dodgers. So I agree with you. I got my eye on the Brewers, and I got my eye on them to kind of make a little bit of a run. So I might be dabbling in them, kind of regardless of what the line is. I might just kind of auto play them a little bit here and there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I like that. I like the assessment. I like that play. Are there any games in particular that really, really stand out to you today that you're loving some plays in?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's keep it with the day game because I'm sure people, for whatever reason, when I do my little board reviews, everybody's always interested in talking about the Nationals Cubs series, which is disgusting, and I usually have no interest in getting involved. But I do like the total here, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts because I think it opened 8 with Josiah Gray and Steele going. Josiah's got almost a 5 ERA. Steele, for whatever reason, he's 4-7, 3.6 ERA. I feel like people like Steele. I like Steele. I think I've watched a little bit of him once, but both games in the series have gone over. Total opened 8, and the under moved down to 7.5. And then I think after the lineups came out, it even moved down to 7. Could also be a weather play. I don't follow. I think it's Ballpark Pal, maybe. Yeah. I don't follow. Yeah, I don't follow that too much. So I don't know if it's like the wind blowing in or something like that. But I like the under. Also, I saw that everybody was hammering the over 75% of the bets, but much more even with the money. So there's only 57% of the money on that, and I like that the line was moving the opposite way of where the tickets were. So that was one of my first plays, and honestly one of my favorite plays.
Interesting. Yeah, it seems weather's pretty neutral. I think it had more to do with the lineups that were coming out from either side. The Cubs lineup seems to be pretty terrible.
Yep.
And I mean the Nats lineup is the Nats lineup to begin with. But I mean I'll give you a little background here that also makes a little more sense. So there is a couple narratives on either side. So the biggest one is Josiah Gray is Paul Blackburn, but inverse. He is, or not inverse. No, he's directly Paul Blackburn. He's really, really good on the road.
Right.
Home. So he's pitching on the road today. I also somebody in that group chat was saying that his fantasy score is getting bumped a couple with his strikeout line staying the same. So maybe they expect him to have a better chance of getting a quality start, better chance of a win, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it does make a little more sense with that Cubs lineup dropping and it not being great. So I do kind of like that under as well. I'm with that.
Yeah, well, I can tell you this: the narrative then, if he's better on the road, makes a little bit more sense. For the line, it makes a little more sense that the smart money would be hitting the under. Yeah, that's probably the angle they're playing. Couple that with the the lineups or whatnot. Do you think it's worth taking a shot on the Nationals money line today?
I haven't even seen how that's moved because I think it's if that money line has stayed in the same relative place post that lineup dropping. I don't know about it, but I think we definitely see a solid start from Josiah Gray today, I think.
Okay. I like that. Are you going to play him in any prize picks?
I might take a stab. I hate playing things post bump because they usually end up right in the middle.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's probably what gives me the most hesitation. I know a lot of people, smart people that we've been talking to are on his pitching outs. I might look to play that. But yeah, I'll be taking a little deeper dive. I haven't dove into any pitcher prize picks really today. I've been pretty focused on the hitters like usual.
Okay.
But speaking of hitters, we got a very, very interesting game in Coors today that I want to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah. Yesterday was good. Remember I told you I thought the opener, even though it's Coors, but with Mikolas, anytime there's a pitcher with a low ERA that has a high total like that, I was all over the over, and it was a no doubter. But I got to be honest, I'm not like that excited to just run right back to it. I've heard conflicting things though with the opener. I thought it opened 11 and it moved up to 12, but then somebody told me it opened 11.5 and it moved up to 12. Do you know if it's a full run?
I saw it open 11 last night, and then it was at 11.5. I kid you not. So I went on the Capwise show. I was doing like prep for it, and within 30 minutes, it went from 11.5 to 12.5.
Just now?
Not just what, an hour and a half ago.
It went to 12. Oh, you're right. I'm looking right now.
It went to
Yeah.
12.5. It jumped a whole run in a very short stretch of time.
My only problem is, again, we have that sample size. So people saw the runs and they said, okay, you know what, fuck it. Doesn't matter who the pitchers are.
Yep.
Going over. The Rockies, can hit the Cardinals. Maybe the Cardinals cool off. The Cardinals will come, bounce back after that loss yesterday. I'm just a little concerned with that. Although I don't want to go under because I don't like betting against big line moves and totals. I do feel like as long as they move a full run, they usually end up hitting that way. So I'm just going to stay off it entirely. Also, I would say Quintana and Freeland, I mean, they look to be pretty competent pitchers. And their ERAs combined is what, like right around 8? So that does kind of get me a little bit more intrigued. If anybody wanted to bet the over, I would say that doesn't make quite as much sense to me. Yeah. Do you have a play in this? I don't have a side.
I mean, this is a game I'm definitely targeting, again, quite a few props on each side. I'm going to take the over in this game still. I think. So, I mean, again, like the narratives between these two lineups is that they do kill left-handed pitching. So, I mean, that's kind of on your side of the public there. But
right,
these are two decent pitchers. I mean, Quintana was the Cardinals' big trade deadline move, I would say. And then
that's right.
Kyle Freeland's coming off of one of his best starts of the year against the Padres, where he actually pitched better than a lot of the numbers indicate. So
I like that.
Yeah. So I think it's a good spot to fade. I think a lot of these guys, just like analytics wise, match up really well with both of these pitchers. So I think I'm going to still rock with the over here at 12.5.
Okay. Yeah. I don't hate it at all. If I didn't play the total yesterday, I'd probably be on it today. It's just one of those things. I don't like to get greedy with the same play in the same game back to back. But are you targeting Rockies hitters or Cardinals hitters or both?
Targeting both, actually.
Okay.
My two ones that I have kind of marked down, I would say, just because it's all statute of limitations because they have very unique offerings today on Prize Picks.
Mm-hmm.
For the Rockies, Brendan Rodgers is my favorite one. I love that matchup for him. I can talk through that a little bit. I just talked about it on the Capwise show, but
never heard of that guy in my life.
Yeah, you should. It's him and another guy that are super, super great minds. They have like a whole model and everything they built. And
awesome. No, I meant Brendan Rodgers.
Oh, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, I like the Capwise guys.
Okay, perfect. I mean, yeah, get to know him too.
Yep.
Get to know him too. I mean, he kills left-handed pitching. He's like the ultimate base hitter and cores guy. I mean, he's like one of the most streaky hitters in that lineup. So, like somebody said that he scared me at all that he had 4 hits yesterday. The whole lineup had like 4 hits yesterday. So no, I'm not scared at all. But when he sees a lefty or sees a pitcher well in a game, that's when he gets multiple hits. So like if you're looking for a lot of those cheeky props, like a lot of people like to reach for like the 3+, 4+ total bases, the 2+, 3+ hits. I think he's a guy that you can target for that. I mean, the guy has 6 multi-hit games in the last 2 weeks. He kills pretty much every pitch he's going to see from Quintana. So that's my favorite on that side. I was really liking Dylan Carlson too on the Cardinals, assuming that he's leading off in the game because he is. We were talking about it on the show too. I was looking at that and I really just wrote it off because I completely forgot that he's a switch hitter. So he's probably going to be leading off because he actually has hit against left-handed pitching a lot better throughout his career. Same deal. It matches up with all the pitches. He's likely going to be leading off. So I love both of those for sure. And
do you have any what about Nolan Arenado? I just remembered he's a former Rocky.
He is. He's not offered for total bases. So that's why
I see
that. But I mean, a fantasy score, we're expecting him to kind of have a big game. Him and Goldie, I think, are going to finally have that breakthrough game. Even though Arenado looked a little better yesterday than Goldie did. But I mean, for the Cardinals, the only guys offered are Dylan Carlson, Albert Pujols, and Tyler O'Neill for total bases.
So let me ask you this: I don't think I want to play the total in the game personally, but I do. If I wanted to get involved, how do you feel about the Cardinals team total over?
I mean, I think both the team total overs hit to be honest
So
with you.
6.5 minus 120. I think I like that.
Yeah, I just think when you're betting a 6.5 or 6, I don't think this is a game where they're going to dominate either team or either team's going to dominate. So at that point, I think you're just kind of betting it over.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're making a lot of sense.
That's like yeah. I mean, if it was like a little more lopsided of the matchup in terms of the pitching matchup, that's where I would kind of agree more. I mean, we've seen that with the Dodgers when they go playing Coors sometimes, but with this matchup, I think it's if you're betting on runs from one side, you're going to get them from the other.
Okay.
That's kind of my perspective on it.
Fair enough. I'm trying to get cute, and you're reeling me back in. I like that.
I mean, sometimes getting cute works. There's 100 different ways to skin a cat. Definitely talking about betting baseball too, but
that's true.
I want to hear what you have to say about this Braves Red Sox game again too.
Oh my gosh! So pouring one out for Krabs.
Yeah.
First of all, I think. Look, it was in my opinion, that was the bet. That was the bet to make. Was it the bet to nuke? In my opinion, no. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I think he messaged and he said, "Should I nuke the Red Sox?" I said no, and he said, "Did Jovan tell you to say no?"
Yeah, he texted me first, and he said, "Should I nuke the Red Sox?" I said, "Listen, I think it's a decent bet, but do you belong anywhere nuking this team right now? Absolutely not."
That is one thing. Again, talked about this yesterday. As the season progresses, you start to learn a few things, and you implement rules for yourself. Try to take on a little bit more discipline and staying away from bad teams. Now, at the end of the day, as contrarians, you're going to bet bad teams, but it just shouldn't be the bet that you increase your units. In my opinion, that's the only reasoning for it. But today's matchup, again, just like yesterday, I think this line's short. I think the line's short. And also anybody, I love the Red Sox yesterday. After they burned you, even if you had the run line and they didn't cover in extras, you're probably saying, you know what, fuck the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Completely off of them. And then if Atlanta is minus 170, no interest in Boston, all right? But you're telling me that Kyle Wright,
yeah.
Kyle Wright against Pivetta. Now, I know Pavetta's better than Rich Hill, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I get that. I get it's a better pitcher for the Red Sox, but Kyle Wright is still only minus 145 against Boston. That to me just seems too short. Also, I'm not seeing much of a move. Open minus 140, it's up to minus 145. And I'm pretty sure the bets are pretty lopsided. I would have to imagine everybody's on Atlanta, although I don't see 73% of the bets, according to covers right now, is on Atlanta. But that line's not really skyrocketing. In my opinion, that should equate to about a 20-cent move.
Yeah, so I mean, Kyle Wright is on my short list of pitchers that I am looking to fade coming in the second half of the season because I don't think he's very good.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and I guess saying that he's not very good may be a little far, but I mean, looking at who the guy's faced, his numbers are so inflated because he's gone against such terrible offenses.
Yep.
So like he saw the Mets last week, and I was all over that. I was thinking he was going to get torched up, and he gave up, I think, 5. He was getting absolutely demolished. So I think not that the Red Sox are the same offense as the Mets by any stretch of the imagination, but I think once he comes down the stretch here, he's going to keep getting touched up a little bit. I was initially leaning towards the over in that game again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be the smartest way to go if you want to back the Red Sox without directly backing the Red Sox, because they're definitely a really tough team to bet right now.
The only thing I would point out is it looks like the number moved from 9.5 to 9.
Did it?
That's what I'm seeing on covers, unless that's incorrect. 9.5, and it's now 9 pretty much everywhere across the board.
Interesting.
But I'm looking at the data, and the numbers aren't really that lopsided. Looks like 68% of the bets, 64% of the money's on the over. So yeah, 90% of the handles on the Braves, and they only move 5 cents. That's kind of strange to me.
Mm-hmm. I might be a little, I don't know, maybe I'll reach for like a Red Sox team total, find the middle part.
Yeah, I like that. And then the only thing that would concern me, so that is one thing to note, maybe for the line, is that Kyle Wright, the odds makers identify this potential regression from Kyle Wright just like you do. But I want to make sure before I fall into a trap that Pavetta's not, hasn't been lights out, and it doesn't look like he has. And it's
Nothing
not like
close to it.
4-4 at home.
Terrible.
Yeah, 4.5 ERA. So that makes me feel okay as going into the Red Sox, because I think the line's a little off.
Yeah, he's been terrible, and I think Ollie was saying too, a lot of the Braves have really good numbers against him too.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, over might be the play again. I think it's strange that it's moving down.
It is.
Maybe it's because Kyle Wright is involved and people think he's a good pitcher. He's got a 3.2 ERA, and Pavetta's not not terrible. So it could be one of those things. I got no problem with going the opposite way of a line move in a total. If you still think 9.5 could have been, an indication that it's going over.
Let me ask you, because I think I'm looking at kind of the odds here. How much you taking the stock? Because I think the lowest that I'm seeing it at 9.5 was minus 103, minus 104 ish. I know it's moving down a run, but how important is that if the over 9 is still sitting minus 120 or over?
Yeah, that's good. I think if you're already, look, I did this multiple times yesterday. So if that over is, once it moves down a run, if that over is still pretty juiced, the books aren't too terrified to feeling the threat of that under.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
they want to be careful, because they know it's not like everybody's coming in with these bets right away and then that's it. They know people are sitting back, and they got to be careful with with how they adjust the odds. So they don't want that over to be, too cheap yet. So that's a good indication. This game starts at 7, so I would probably be another couple hours, see what happens. But also, you don't want to wait for it to go back to 9.5, right?
Yeah. That's the truth too.
I'd probably just take it.
Yeah, I might do that. I might do that really soon here. Another game that I'm sure is putting your brain in a pretzel that I want to talk about is this Marlins Phillies game.
Yeah. All right. So I'll tell you what I think about this. I have a hard time. I love Sandy, by the way. I made 2 bets for Cy Young winners this year. I did Musgrove and I did Alcantara. Alcantara's looking great, knock on wood. Little regression. He got beat up by the Mets, right? That wasn't good.
Yeah.
But I don't like betting on really popular, trendy pitchers. Like Krabs started the Fade Otani day. Totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. So I can't bet on him. And at the same time, I don't want to bet on the Phillies. I don't want to fade Sandy. Just because I don't want to bet on a trendy pitcher, I don't necessarily always just want to fade them. But my thoughts on this is, as maybe the most contrarian gross play of the day, is going with the over in this game, because we know the Marlins can't score, right? And now if you're betting the over, okay, then you think the Phillies are going to score. Well, you certainly don't think the Phillies are going to score if they're going against Alcantara. So where are these runs going to come from?
Yeah. And I like that too. I was thinking about that as well. Because I was trying to find an angle. So, it's hard for me to interpret this line, right? Because I think, like, another guy who's on my short list of pitchers that I'm going to fade because he has been just incredibly overperforming all year is Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah.
And the big thing, like, obviously the Marlins offense is not good by any stretch of the imagination, but they can manufacture runs against Noah Syndergaard. He allows hits. He's going to do it against this lineup even. And the Marlins are really, really aggressive on the base pass. And that's going to be nice with Noah Syndergaard, who allows the highest stolen base rate in pretty much all of baseball for 20-something years.
I love that stat.
Yeah. So that's why, that's why against Bobby Witt, against high stolen base rate guys, when they go up against Syndergaard, I always target them for fantasy scores and things like that. So I like them to kind of manufacture some runs. And I think Sandy, against this Phillies lineup, who their bats have been hot, so they may be able to scratch a couple, I think that over is a pretty solid play.
Okay, but it kind of sounded to me like you were getting at maybe taking the Marlins.
Yeah, I definitely lean the Marlins. I think Marlins in the first 5 is a decent play as well.
So I like that, and the line makes me like it even more, because the Phillies aren't too lopsided. It looks like they're getting still the majority of the bets, about 56%, but it does look like a reverse line move towards the Marlins. So that is right up my alley. I think I would absolutely co-sign a Marlins play here. or even a team total. Do you happen to know what it is, by the way?
3.5.
The Marlins team total is 3.5.
Yes, it is.
What's the over?
Let me see. I was looking at it.
Oh, I got it right now.
Minus
Unders minus
105.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I have a really hard time betting the Marlins, knowing how quote unquote public they're going to be with Sandy on the mound. And I know the bets are the way they are, but Twitter is a powerful voice. I'll say that.
Absolutely is. I don't know how you can be a sports bettor and not be on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
It's honestly you could make your plays just from looking at your Twitter feed.
Yeah.
And going the opposite way.
That's what I do. That's what I definitely try to do a lot in football season. I'll tell you that, especially on the nationally televised games.
Yep, that's the way to go, man. I like the Marlins play here. I'll probably be on the over, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's head to another game that I'm sure all of Twitter is pretty confused on and don't know what to do. Maybe they're too scared to touch it after the last couple games. Let's go to Baltimore.
I knew you were going to fucking say that. So I'm actually happy that last night happened because I told myself, I think I actually said verbatim, I like the over. I thought 8.5 was a little high with I always say it wrong. Is it Manoah?
Yeah, Manoah.
Yeah, Manoah was involved.
Manoah and a Mania.
In a Mania, yeah. I think I called him Mania yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still thought the price on the Blue Jays was kind of high against an Orioles team that's the most profitable team. And I was like, but I wouldn't play the Blue Jays just in case the Orioles squeak one out. And they fucking squeaked one out. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
They just continue to win. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Again, I have banned myself from fading the Orioles. And I'm very, very happy man in doing so. But that doesn't mean I don't look at the odds and the lines in their matchup every day. This is the one I would strike.
Is it?
It is. Because there's a narrative here that plays into Baltimore. Isn't Berrios a pitcher that people like to fade on the road?
Yes, that is true.
So he's 8-4, 5 ERA. That's a high ERA for a pitcher that's 8-4. He certainly is no fan favorite, in my opinion. And the guy going for the Orioles isn't bad. Creamer, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
4-3, 3.4 ERA. You're telling me that the Blue Jays are minus 155? I think they should be minus 130.
Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting an Orioles.
Absolutely not. Okay. Also, look at this. 59% of the bets on the Blue Jays, which is shocking to me. I thought it would actually be way more split, or the majority of the people are just going to keep hitting Baltimore. But 65% of the money, and I didn't even notice this, there's a line move towards the Jays. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I would absolutely be playing the Blue Jays here. Minus 140 up to minus 155 after the Baltimore Orioles just keep on winning. 7-3 in their last 10, 37-17 at home. Insane. So what do you think?
I mean, this is one I can't get my head around either. I was thinking you're going to be in the Orioles because I think the public narrative is, what, the Jays, there's no way they go get swept by the Orioles, right?
Oh, you're very right, Jovan. I did not even think about the avoiding the sweep factor. That is pretty public.
It is, but I mean, I think everybody is also pretty scared to touch the Jays and to fade the Orioles. So, I mean, to your point, with the line move too, I'm not surprised at all. I think it's a good competing narrative from both sides.
Berrios is 2-4 with a 7.5 ERA on the road. So I only think if anybody else was pitching other than him, then I would totally agree and not advise the Blue Jays. But because of that and the line move in his favor, I think the Jays are going to win today.
There you go. Ollie is the public representation with this comment here.
What did he say?
He said it's not complicated. Fade Berrios on the road. And then the next guy behind him said it's not complicated. Fade Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie, he's a very, very smart baseball guy as well. And I'm not a fade Ollie guy by any means, but it does help to hear him say that.
It does.
Fade Berrios on the road. A lot of people are saying this. I think it's the time to bet the Jays. I would even, if I didn't ban myself, I would be hitting the Blue Jays minus 1.5 here. I'd ladder them.
Interesting. Interesting.
Love
Interesting. Interesting. I don't
love the
know. I was
Jays
kind
today.
of. Do you have any thoughts on that total? I feel like that would be another one where everybody thinks it's a pretty easy over.
Yeah, I like the under. I like the under. I actually, I think I was actually going to play that because I can do that. I'm not going to fade the Jays or the Orioles, but I am going to play the under. I agree. I thought everybody would be, again, 8.5 with Manoah. Now you got 9 with both games in the series going over. And Barrios is a terrible road ERA. I think people would be all over the over. And now I'm seeing the under 9 is juiced minus 120. I love that.
Interesting. Yeah, that's kind of. I don't think I have the stones to take the under, but
I know. That's a
I think
tough bet. That's a
it's a
tough
tough
bet.
bet to take. Especially, I mean, I've been looking at a couple props in that game too because I love a couple looks there. I'm probably going to be on Teoscar Hernandez in that game.
Ooh. In what way? Because I like that. I like
He's up,
Teoscar.
he's up for total bases. I'll probably be taking that. I love his matchup today. And he surprisingly, I was looking at the home run odds. He's the shortest, and I don't think anybody is ever shorter than Vladdy.
I'm going to actually make that bet right now. I'm going to bet him to hit a home run.
I like that. Seeing that plus 310. It's a tough bet to make in Baltimore with a righty, but it seems to work sometimes.
Got to make those uncomfortable bets.
If you're comfortable while placing a bet, it's probably not hidden. So,
yeah, exactly.
respectfully. See, we got a couple games here. Interested to see what you think about this Yankees Mariners game again.
I said yesterday I thought the Yankees win, and I thought they'd sweep. Clearly I'm wrong with that. I can't believe was that game scoreless? Yeah, it must have been. It was 1-0. Scoreless going into extras. That doesn't happen too often, does it?
No, and I mean we were up on the night sweat stream with everybody the other day, and it was crazy because they were in the extra innings. It was crazy double play after crazy double play with the ghost runner, and they were playing defense like it was Game 7 of the World Series, and that was one of the better games of the year, which is odd because it was 1-0 in 13 innings. But
again, I'm not a huge baseball guy, and you'd think if I'm not a big baseball fan, I would just want runs. I actually like that. I like low scoring, grinded out games. It's more intense.
yeah, that felt like a playoff game last night.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you, man. I don't really have a good read on this game. Total 7.5 down to 7. Nothing really catches my eye. I'd probably lean under. I guess it would matter, though, how have Cortez and Robbie Ray been pitching? Because if they've been lights out, then I feel like maybe that's a little too obvious, especially after a 1-0 game. It looks like the line's moving towards the Mariners, but the majority of the bets are on the Yankees. So you would say you could lean the Mariners there with that reverse line move. But personally, I don't have a good read on this.
Yeah, so we'll say my kind of thoughts. I don't have a hard grip on the game either. But I was interested, I think, with the lines that we've seen the last couple of days that the Yankees are minus 120, which is a little longer odds than they've been at the couple of days with Robbie Ray. He's been kind of iffy over the last month or so, but he is coming off of a start where he looked absolutely fantastic. Granted, against the Angels, which are not the Yankees, but
right.
It was interesting for sure. And Nestor, he's starting to see a little bit of regression too. He also kind of looked good, I guess, in his last start. But it's a really tough game to wrap my head around.
I thought, remember when everybody crowned Nestor with the Cy Young like a month and a half ago? I could have sworn he was the Cy Young winner. No, yeah. You know what's interesting, though? It should be said because we've seen 2 different situations with the Yankees in both games. Game one, I think that was Talion and Gilbert, right?
Yep.
We saw a little move to the Yankees. I think they actually were like 120 up to 125, even maybe 130, and then there was big buyback on the Mariners. Then it became a pick'em, and the Yankees took care of business easy. Then last night, the Yankees were sharp. The Yankees were taking money, and they lost. So now, Game 3, this is almost a copycat of Game 1. So you can't necessarily say. Sometimes I love the reverse line move system, and you almost feel too good about it. It's like in your head, you're like, oh, this is going to be a winner, but it doesn't mean anything. And you just saw it 2 games ago when the Yankees burst their bubble in Game 1. So I don't know. I'd probably disgustingly lean Yankees here again because Robbie Ray just came off that start and because Cortez has come back down to earth a little bit and the Yankees just lost yesterday. but don't like it enough to make a play in this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Kind of with you on that. It's a tough game the way these teams are playing.
Very, very.
Because I mean, the Yankees have guys in and out of the lineup. No Stanton, no Rizzo. I don't know if he's coming back today or what's the deal, but the Mariners, no Julio Rodriguez. It's just a tough situation to cap both these guys.
Didn't Rizzo play yesterday?
Did he? Oh, he is.
Well,
he's back today at least. I didn't see yesterday.
I saw a fantasy score offered on him. That's the only reason why I was curious. But
yeah, I think they've had him for listed pretty much every day he's been out. They do that a lot.
Oh, I see. Okay,
they are saying he's back today.
Got it. Okay. Well, it's a little good news, and I like to sell good news. So
you don't like to buy that.
Yeah, I don't want to buy that. Yeah, no read, no touch for me in this game. But yeah, very cool, very fun series though.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go to San Diego.
Yes.
That's an interesting one.
Completely agree. In my opinion, you buy low, you sell high. Talked about the Padres yesterday. It was the fuck Padres. It was the time to buy low. As we said, I think they're going to go on a little bit of a run. But my play in this game is I'm not going to take the Padres. I like the total. I like the over. 8.5. It's up to 9 now. Now, definitely keep me in check if this is too square of a play, but I don't think it is because it's such a high total. I know Manea is bad, and I watched him for the first time against the Dodgers. It looked like a pitching machine out there.
Yeah.
He's 6-6, 4.70 ERA. I don't know how he's even 6-6. To be honest with you, I guess because the Padres, got some hitters. But Junis, 4-3 with a 3 ERA. That's what I like with this high total. He's got a low ERA, so the guy can pitch. I think the bats woke up yesterday. It was a pretty low-scoring game throughout, right? It was like 3-1, kind of getting into the late innings, and it was still a sweat with the Padres. Don't get me wrong. So people aren't like ready to cozy up to him just yet. But I like what I'm seeing in this total. It's a pretty high number. I'm also seeing only 41% of the bets are on the over, but 68% of the money. So I like that. That's right up my alley. The line's moving accordingly. Public's all over the under. So that's probably, I'd say it's one of my more favorite plays of the day.
Yeah, I like that one because I think there is very few and far in between times do I think I've seen a total at 9 in Petco Park. Because I know it's a brand new Padres teams, but runs have not been getting scored in that stadium. That's where offense goes to die, frankly.
Is that really a saying?
It's not a saying, but they haven't scored runs in that stadium all year. And like I said, obviously it's a different team with new additions, but it's been a very pitcher-friendly park.
Yep.
Especially this year.
And the Giants' offense isn't that great.
No, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's a high total with a good pitcher, a bad offense, and a ballpark that's not known for scoring runs. So checks all my boxes. I'm going to be on that over.
I'm a big fan of that. Definitely a big fan of that. We got a couple games left here. Let's go. A couple of these games kind of suck, but we can go straight to Los Angeles. See what do you think about the Dodgers Twins game today, if anything at all?
I don't think of much. I had a great read on the Dodgers yesterday. I really do think the Dodgers are just one of those teams that are scorching hot, and I don't really think they're going to slow down. The one thing that caught my eye is I never heard of this pitcher in my life, Pepia, against someone who I have heard, and I'm sure people are very familiar with, Sonny Gray, 6-3, 3 ERA. So I was expecting the Dodgers to maybe be a little bit short of a price, but they're not. Minus 170 is a lot of respect. The Twins, I think the Twins are fugazis. I think they're frauds. They're 57 and 52. I guess they're almost 500 on the road. Although I will say I didn't know Rocco Baldelli was their manager. That's pretty cool. Former all-time great. So now, honestly, if I would have known that going into the season, I probably would have put just a fan future on Rocco Baldelli to win it all or something. But
manager of the year.
What do you think? I'm not going to go Dodgers here, although I don't necessarily think it's a bad play. If I had to make a bet, I'd probably go under. What do you think about that?
I don't hate the under. I actually don't. That's, again, just like a bet that kind of scares me.
Yeah.
I don't want to fade this Dodgers offense right now, which I guess
exactly.
It's the comfortable thing to do, to take the over, take the Dodgers run line. So I get that. Here, I think people are going to try and get a little cute and try to snipe the Twins win in this series. And I think that's today with Sonny Gray, another guy who's been overperforming a little bit. I think the Dodgers roll again here. I think this is a situation where we see, I don't want to say a win similar to last night, but I think it's going to be like a 6-2 win where we're inching close to that total, and the Dodgers are like about to do it all themselves.
I love that. You know what else I kind of like? I like the team total for the Twins under. Because I agree with you. I do think people would get cute now that they get a plus price against a pitcher that nobody's really familiar with. And I like the under in the game. So it's maybe a little bit of an inflated number, 3.5. I'm seeing the unders plus 105. Obviously, I don't like going against the juice, but I might, I'm just saying if you wanted to play an under, but take the Dodgers bats out of the equation, that's maybe, another way to approach it.
Yeah, it's kind of a smart move. I like that for sure.
Can we talk about the Pirates Diamondback?
Yeah, I was about to go to that game.
Okay, good. Yeah, sorry. I just want to make sure. I didn't know how much time we had, but it looks like we got a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Tell me if I like the Pirates here, and tell me if I'm wrong, because maybe I don't respect Mitch Keller enough. Loved Tommy Henry yesterday.
Yeah.
Minus 160. I even like the Diamondbacks in game 1 in this series. They were minus 220 with Gallen. I thought that was just a high price because the Pirates are pesky. People know that. The Dodgers and the Pirates, despite being bad teams, it's not like they're the Nationals. Like they can cash as an underdog. And so I thought the Diamondbacks were the play in game 1. I didn't take it, but I did take Henry in game 2. Now I'm seeing Bumgarner is the same price as Tommy Henry was against the Pirates. Now, is that because Mitch Keller is a much better pitcher? I think Ollie may have pointed this out to me earlier. Than who went for them yesterday? Was it Zach Thompson?
Zach Thompson, yeah.
Yeah, because he's 3-8, so he can't be that good, right?
He's not that good, but I mean, he's definitely a better pitcher. I'd say he's pretty easily the best one on their staff. But I mean, there is the whole narrative of Pirates being atrocious against lefties, which they are, and it's really interesting to see Mad Bum at the same price. Like, yes, Madison Bumgarner is not the greatest pitcher in the world either.
Right.
But seeing him at the same price as Tommy Henry, who, obviously I was pretty high on, and I think he's going to be really good going forward, but he'd only made one start against the Guardians, and they're giving him the same price. And I'm kind of with you.
Okay.
There's definitely some interesting prize picks offerings in this game too. I know usually whenever they have weird Pirates guys up for total bases, they tend to have a pretty good day offensively. So,
well, I like to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, they have a couple guys up. I mean, they usually don't have anybody for 1.5 total bases, and they got 3 today. So, interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. 2 of them are like the big name guys, but one of them is Kevin Newman, which is super interesting. But, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I know Mitch Keller has been pitching not fantastic lately either. So, I mean, giving him that price, I don't want to say it's a name thing because Mitch Keller is not a big name, but he's the biggest name in that rotation.
Got it. Yep, that makes sense.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said.
And it should be mentioned from a line perspective, Bumgarner did open minus 170. I am seeing that the Diamondbacks are getting about 70% of the bets, but that line has now moved down to minus 160. And then if you look at the numbers, this is by far the most complete opposite game in terms of the betting tickets and the money. The discrepancy here is crazy. Out of everything else on the board, it says 76% of the bets are on the Diamondbacks, but 78% of the money is on the Pirates. So as someone that likes to follow, smart money, this is right up my alley. Again, I am a road dog better, so I like having that plus 1.5. I don't know I like it even more if I like the under. I don't really have a lean on that, although it looks like the over might be the sharp side. So in that sense, if the over starts to move, I might just say fuck it and take the Pirates on the money line. But yeah, I like the Pirates lie here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think me personally, I think I would just go with the money line. I think while yes, I do. I'm unsure about these offenses putting up a ton of runs, absolutely, but
right.
I think it's minus 145 ish for the plus 1.5. Oh, it's minus 155 ish. That's a price I don't want to play on the Pirates.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, fair enough. I that's good with me.
Yeah. 100%.
Money line it is. How about a Red Sox Pirates parlay?
Oh. Sick.
That is pretty sick, right?
Sickening. I mean, talk about sickening games. Do we see any type of value in betting this Astros Rangers game?
Yeah, I just had my eye on that. No, I don't. I don't. Maybe you can find something in like in a player prop. I don't really see anything that's off for me in here. Seems like it's the right price for Houston. I mean, especially after what they just did yesterday, they taking down Perez. Otto doesn't look to be very good, 4-8 with 5.3 RA, and Verlander. I think Verlander's the favorite now, isn't he? Over our boy Shane.
Yeah, quite significantly.
Is he? Yeah, that's too bad. I haven't checked. I just stopped looking once I saw he started to lead the race. Yep. Unfortunately, but yeah, I mean he's too good. I don't have any interest in getting cute and trying to fade him. Maybe if the line was a little short, it would get my contrarian brain going. But I got nothing in this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think I can't fault anybody for taking a shot at the Rangers at this price.
Yep.
Being that this is going to be the third time they're seeing Verlander, but I mean that hasn't really helped a lot of the teams he's faced most of this year because he just continues to shove against every single team. And I don't want to get wrapped up in the narrative saying that he's just going to shove against every team because eventually the guy's going to have a bad start. He's going to lose a game, but
right.
It's difficult. It's difficult to fade this guy. I don't want to do it. If you're talking about prize picks like you're talking about, like a Semien again, I think he was sitting like 5 flat leading off. Again, I don't want to fade the guy, but that's a small line that he doesn't really have to do much to cover. So in that sense, that would be, I think, kind of the only smart approach to taking if you want to back the Rangers in any sort.
So you would take Semien over?
I was looking at him or Seager. I would take Semien just because I think he's been the more consistent guy, and I think he walks at a little higher of a rate too. And with a line at 5, we will gladly take a walk.
Sure. Because that's two. That counts as 2.
That counts as 2, yeah. And then if he comes in to score, it's 4, and then he just has to do something else.
Got it. So Semien, by the way, I remember this. Big offseason acquisition. He was bad to start the year.
Very bad.
He's gotten right though, and he's stayed consistent, or has he been up and down?
I mean, that whole lineup in general has been pretty up and down, but he's really started to get it together. I think he's a solid fixture in that lineup now. I'm not going to say he's gone out there and been Barry Bonds or anything, but been significantly better, I would say.
Okay.
He's hitting, he had 270 last month. He was barely scratching the Mendoza line most of the season. So yeah, he's a big part of that offense. We got a couple minutes here.
Okay.
We got a couple games left. I mean, I guess we got a couple. We got Cleveland, Detroit. Absolutely disgusting game. I don't know if there's anything there.
I mean, both these other 2 matchups are so gross. I think I got enough that I like today that I'm not going to really force it. But in terms of just talking about it, I would have to think, there's always just a square play that hits. That's the easy one. And I think it's probably the Guardians. Do you think, I mean, I know clearly they're the better team than the Tigers, but the Tigers are still known for, being those underdogs that can, that bettors like to get cute with and dabble with. I would have to imagine that maybe they would do it today against Savali because Savali is not very good. He's 2-5 with a 6 ERA. So, you see Cleveland, what are they, minus 180?
Yeah, minus 180, I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's a big price. I'm seeing they're minus 160 up to minus 180. I think that leads me to believe I would not get cute with Detroit. And at the end of the day, Cleveland's probably just going to take care of business.
Yeah, I'm in the same thing. I mean, this is like more of a baseball brain play. Not that I'm making a play, but baseball brain type read for me. Watching Drew Hutchison, I watched him in a start a couple weeks ago, and then I watched him pitch against the Rays. Good God, that guy is horrendous. Horrendous. I mean, he really sucks against lefties too, which is the big part. In the Guardians, they got Naylor in there. They got Ahmed Rosario in there. That's a switch hitter. Then they got Jose Ramirez that's in there as a switch hitter. They got Steven Kwan, who's a really good hitter. Mm-hmm. He should get touched up today. Honestly, this would be not that I'm going to touch it personally, but this might be a sneaky spot where they just absolutely go out there and dominate the Tigers.
Well, I like that you said that. How do you feel? I'm not a big first 5 guy, but would you consider playing a Guardians first 5?
Yeah, on the run line I would.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to get a better number.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think they're in a solid spot to roll in this game. I
Yep.
don't know. I think with the Tigers bullpen too, and how they're typically been pretty good all year, and they haven't started being very good very
Mhm.
recently. So I honestly think I would prefer the -1.5 for a little better of a price than
Okay.
the first 5 run line, though I think they both are fantastic plays.
Yeah, see, that's where I have a tough time deciding between, because I have tried to dabble with some of these first five plays to take advantage of there's something there, like you just said, with the starting pitcher being terrible against some of these guys in the Guardians lineup. But then that's where I don't know enough to where you'd rather just go full game because the Tigers bullpen is dog shit.
Yeah, and that's like a toughest thing to read because I mean they've been so good for a majority of the year, and now they're starting to be bad.
Got it.
Traded away one of their relievers, which plays a part, but it's tough to read. Just a couple more minutes here. You can touch on this one game really quickly because this is
Sure.
weirdly one of the games that a lot of people have DM me or tagged me or in the other stream like want to hear about for some reason.
Who are these people?
I don't know. Everybody loves the White Sox and the Royals apparently.
Yeah, and I think I saw a lot of White Sox game one tickets yesterday, and the Royals won.
Yeah.
I didn't play it. I didn't play either game, although I know there is that system that people say they wait to see what happens in game one and then they go the opposite in game two. I think that's probably been doing pretty well, and it worked out yesterday. I have zero desire to get involved. I know Bubich is not good, and people don't like Bubich. The only thing I would ask you is this number on the White Sox a little short? -140?
I don't think so. I think we try to do this every time with Bubich and just think the line's a little short and the guy continues to go out and get beat. So like I'm not willing to fade Bubich. I guess if I had to play anything in this game, I would probably lean the over. I think probably the way that I would attack it. But I mean, I do kind of think the White Sox win this game. It's hard to imagine an 8.5 line with how well Cueto has been pitching against this atrocious Royals lineup lately. And, you know, same thing on the other side. Bubich has been overperforming quite a bit for a couple starts here. And this is a White Sox lineup without Tim Anderson. Yes, they kill lefties, but they're without their most consistent bat in the lineup. So,
actually, Jovan, I'm glad we talked about this, and I know we can wrap up soon, but I think I actually really like the over because it is strange to me. Also, the offenses are neither of them are really good. And I'm looking at what the White Sox have been putting up. I mean, it's not more than 2 or 3 runs a game.
Yeah, not really. They've been really bad. I think it did. This was another one where it's very juiced to the over, and it wasn't juiced to the under initially because I think it did move down from 9 to 8.5.
It did. But also the first 2 games in the series soared under. Yeah. So that to me, you set that opening line high, and if it moves down, meaning money's hitting it, it almost feels like that's too obvious. So it tells me I value where the opener is set more than where the money's going in situations like these. If that opened 8, throw it. That doesn't apply. But you open it at 9, and I'm already like, ooh, I kind of lean over, and I don't care what the line is.
I agree. I'm with that. But we got to wrap up here. Hand it over to Trent.
Cool.
Once again, I appreciate you for coming on, holding it down in the absence of Krabs. I love hearing your insight. I love talking through these games with you because it's incredible insight, incredible ways that you look at lines, everything. It's awesome.
Right back at you. Anytime you guys want me, I'm here.
Of course. Definitely will have you on, especially when Krabs is on. Krabs, you two talking would be fantastic for the people to listen to.
Love it.
So, I mean, dubs in the chat for everybody. Once again, appreciate you coming on, and we'll hand it over to Trent.
Sounds good. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck on your bets, guys.